Hello everybody, John12 back here again with another video. Today I bring you once again another top 5. Yes, it's time for another top 5. It's that time of the week. And you know what? Getting off of... I stated this in my previous top 5 that I was post Halloween stuff. I was going to get back into the comic book stuff. And I wanted to do these specific top 5s a couple weeks ago when the whole Warner Brothers and Disney, Marvel Studios movie releases were going around. But unfortunately, seeing as how we were in the Halloween, spirit or season, if you will, I wasn't able to do that with my top 5s. But you know what? Seeing as how Halloween is said and done, I thought, what better way to celebrate all these great movies coming out, or possibly coming out, than to do top 5s on them. So today, this week, I'm going to be doing my top 5 most anticipated DC Cinematic Universe movies, and then next week I'll be doing my top 5 most anticipated Marvel Cinematic Universe movies to come out, seeing as how, for those of you who don't know, Warner Brothers had released their roadmap to all their movies following Batman v Superman, and of course, post Age of Ultron trailer reveal, they basically did the same thing by showing us what we can expect post Age of Ultron and Ant-Man in Phase 3. So it's quite interesting to be a comic book fan. We're going to be living in the theater, literally, so it's going to be a real hell week for me, personally. I mean, like, it's, don't get me wrong, I love the fact that we're getting so many comic book movies in a span of just, like half a decade, but at the same time, it's like, God, like, I have to go to the movies so many times, and I hate getting up as it is. Like, like, for a lazy guy like myself, it's a pain in the ass. Not to mention dealing with a whole bunch of bastard kids who don't know what they're doing. And I want to see Spider-Man. Where's Spider-Man? Fuck off! I don't know. I'm just saying, it's just a real hassle to a guy like myself. But nevertheless, let's get this top 5 rolling. I'm going to give you my top 5 most anticipated DC comic book movies to come, DC Cinematic Universe movies, that rather. And also, I wanted to make sure, before I start with my list, that A, it's subjective, it's my personal list, you don't have to agree with my list, and if you don't, in the comment section below, let me know what you're most looking forward to in the DC Cinematic Universe. And also, I want to also mention that I will not be adding Batman v Superman to the list, because of course it's too obvious. It would be too much of a cliche move to just say, like, oh well, number 1 goes to Batman v Superman because I'm looking forward to that shit. Well, basically I am, but I'm not going to add that to that list. So anyways, let's get started right off the bat with number 5. And number 5 has to go straight up to Shazam. And now this is kind of difficult for me because I'm pretty sure a lot of you are asking yourselves, like, why are you putting Shazam so low on the list? Why not a little higher? And one of the main reasons as to why I'm putting it so low on my list is because we still don't know so much about Shazam. I mean, like, we do know that Dwayne Johnson's obviously going to play Black Adam, which is badass, but there are a lot of things going wrong with Shazam. Like, for one, it's being done by New Line, and for those of you who don't know, there's been big rumors adding to the fact that Shazam may not be a part of the cinematic universe, along with Justice League and stuff. So it's really hard to say. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure it will be a part of the universe, but it just kind of, I don't know, it's unfortunate. Not to mention the fact that it's so far away. I mean, like, Jesus Christ, we have to wait so long. I mean, like, I would feel better if it came out, like, in 2016, along with Wonder Woman and Batman v Superman, but Jesus, we have to wait practically to what, like 2018 or some shit? That's a fucking long time away, you know, like, especially a big Shazam fan as myself who wants to see Dwayne Johnson rock out with the fucking cock out as Black Adam and shit. I want to see that shit. And also, just to add things together, we still don't know who is going to be playing Shazam or Billy Batson, which is pretty odd, which is kind of funny, you know. I mean, like, we get the casting of the villain before with a hero. I mean, like, that's kind of funny. But nevertheless, Shazam is a great character. I can't wait to see him presented to me in the big screen. I'm a huge Dwayne Johnson fan, so that's awesome. And I just can't wait to see something out of DC that's not just the cliche characters, you know. And I think Shazam would be a great pace for, you know, the cinematic universe, especially going into Justice League Part 2. But nevertheless, let's move off of that and go to number 4, which has to go to the Suicide Squad, which will be coming out also in 2016. And I cannot wait for that movie. It's hands down the number one badass movie that I want to see. I mean, like, come on, just think of it, people. A team of supervillains in a DC movie. Who would have thought DC would have ever done something like that? Like, it's one thing to do Justice League, but they're gonna do a team of supervillains before Justice League. That just baffles my mind in and of itself. And plus, there's a lot of things going right with the thing. I mean, like, for those of you who don't know, there's been tons of casting rumors, tons of team choices, and also we already know who the director of the fucking movie is going to be, which is David Ayer, and he's a badass in and of itself. I mean, like, for those of you who don't know, he's the director of Sabotage, Fury, all badass movies like that, so, and End of Watch, so I can't wait to see what the guy puts out as Suicide Squad. I mean, like, I just can't wait for that poster to come out. You know, just Deadshot shooting the shit out of the screen, and fucking Harley Quinn in the background, and Deathstroke, or whoever the fuck in the background doing shit that doesn't make sense but looks cool, and then like bullet holes everywhere, and just like Suicide Squad. I don't know. I'm just saying, I can see the post right now, and it's badass, and I just want that. And I don't know, Suicide Squad, I'm a huge fan of, especially their current incarnation. And for me personally, I say, for those of you who are wondering, is like, what team members would you want? I go full on New 52. I personally say, and the current team should be the team in the movies, even though I'm pretty sure they'll, you know, mix and match or add some, you know, lesser known characters in the background for the team. But I say, you know what, go full on current version. I say put in Deadshot, Deathstroke, Harley Quinn, and Joker's daughter, and possibly, you know what, Black Manta. Have all those guys in the movie, I'm all in. David Ayer is going to do a badass job. I'm pretty sure he's a badass director. So I cannot wait for that movie. It's going to be so badass. But moving off of that, going to the creme de la creme of all comic book movies at number 3. And this is a strange one, I'm pretty sure you are wondering, is like, wow, that didn't get into number 1, but it is the Justice League. Yes, in 2017, Part 1, Justice League. I cannot wait for that movie. It's the number 1 movie all us DC fans cannot wait for. It's the number 1 movie we've been wanting to have ever since the Avengers. So I can't wait to see what Warner Brothers puts out. I can't wait to see how Zack Snyder, you know, presents the Justice League to us. My speculation is that by the end of Batman v Superman, Brainiac, who is supposedly going to be the main villain for Justice League, comes into Earth and is like, I come to take over your planet, or whatever the fuck he says. And then, you know, Superman turns to Batman, Batman turns to Wonder Woman, Flash comes in out of nowhere, is like, what, who the fuck are you? And then Aquaman comes over, is like, I'm here, fucking assholes. And then bam, Justice League formation, go kick his ass, the alien motherfucker who has green skin. I know that doesn't make sense, but I'm just saying that's my speculation of how you get into Justice League. But nevertheless, Justice League I can't wait for. I'm pretty sure Zack Snyder, I hope he does a pretty badass job. I mean, like, only time will tell. I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens in Batman v Superman to really speculate Justice League, but nevertheless, Justice League is right there on the list. I would feel kind of stupid if I didn't add that on the list. And plus, I am a huge fan of Justice League. I can't wait to see them. I can't wait to see all these characters come together and, you know, and just do some badass, awesome stuff. We've been getting rumors that the Brainiac will be the main villain, which I think is a great choice. I mean, like, for a starter villain, I'm just glad that they're not doing Darkseid. Now, don't get me wrong, huge fan of Darkseid. Cannot wait to see him presented to me the same way Marvel is doing with Thanos. But I just think it's too soon to do Darkseid. If you do Darkseid the first time around, I mean, like, how do you do the sequel? Who's the sequel? I mean, that's all I'm saying. But Brainiac, first villain, awesome, great, amazing. Nevertheless, moving off of that, going into number 2, has to go to Wonder Woman, the solo movie. I cannot wait for Gal Gadot to show us how badass she can really do things. And personally, the movie is also coming out in 2016, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe early 2017, I can't remember. I know it comes out prior to Justice League. And I don't know, we've been getting lots of like rumors to the plot of the story, like supposedly Warner Brothers is making a trilogy of Wonder Woman, and supposedly every single movie will have her set in a different decade. Like, it will start in the early 1900s, and then we'll have the 1920s, 1930s, 1960s, or whatever, and then like have her come into real time, kind of similar to what Marvel did with Steve Rogers. I'm not a huge fan of that plot twist. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Wonder Woman, and I like to see her dated, in a sense that I like to see a character like Wonder Woman in a specific time period, kind of similar to Steve Rogers. But at the same time, I mean, like, we're already gonna get her in Batman v Superman in real time, so I don't see why it's necessary to have her like in a different period in her first movie. You know, that just doesn't make any sense. I mean, for me, if I was gonna do the movie, which I'm not, and I'm glad I'm not doing because that's too much of a hassle, I say, you know what, go full on New 52 with it. We already know that's the origin story of her, and I say first villain needs to be Ares. Let it be Ares, the god of war. Let it be Ares. Have her fight Ares with her team of Amazonians, his team of badass dudes from another, realm of possibilities or whatever the fuck. They go at it, and they just go out in a full-on war, Themyscira versus those fucking assholes, and they just go out all out. And then at the end, she kills Ares with a spear, damn, fucking Troy style, and then bam, she becomes the new goddess of war. And then that's how you set up a badass Wonder Woman for Justice League. You go into Justice League, it's like, hey, what were you doing? I'm the goddess of war, bitch. Don't fuck with me. That's fucking the movie I want to see. But nevertheless, Wonder Woman, in and of itself, her getting her own movie, cannot wait to see it. So far, I'm neutral for the whole Wonder Woman thing. I know a lot of other people are like, oh, Wonder Woman's gonna suck because Gal Gadot's so skinny, and the costume's too watered down, it's not colorful. I want colors. I know a lot of people are bitching like that, but nevertheless, I'm neutral to the fact, to the costume, and to Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I'm just saying, you know what, just wait till Batman v Superman. If she sucks in there, then we have to worry. But nevertheless, cannot wait till Wonder Woman movie to come out. I'm glad that she's finally getting her justice, no pun intended. But nevertheless, moving off of that, going to some honorable mentions that I did not put on my list. First off, The Flash. I didn't put this on the list because we already have the Flash TV series, and I kind of felt it was unnecessary to put on the list, Out of all the movies, The Flash is the number one movie that I can wait for, I have the Flash TV series, and that's pretty much done justice to the Flash character, in my personal opinion, so I can wait for a Flash movie, and plus, Ezra Miller as the Flash still, gets to me as like, wow, really? I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not one to bash actors as much as other people, but that one was really a mind blower and mind exploder. Wow, really? But I guess only time will tell. I would have preferred a Wally West, but they are doing Barry Allen, which is also weird. But you know what? At the end of the day, I am still looking forward to the Flash to see what they do in a live action, real big budget kind of movie style with the Flash. So I guess we'll have to see, but I am looking forward to it. The Green Lantern reboot, I can't wait to see that. I want to see, how Warner Brothers, redeems themselves from the Ryan Reynolds, abomination, so I can't wait to see that. Justice League Part 2, can't wait to see that. Let's see, what else is on the list that I cannot wait for? The possible Batman and Superman solo movies, solo sequels, if you will. They're not on the list, per se, but Warner Brothers did say that Batman and a Man of Steel sequel are in the works, so I can't wait to see that. More likely, to tell you the truth, I'm more in the side of Batman because I can't wait to see what they do with this new version of Batman. And plus, there's just so many possibilities that you can go with. I mean, I personally say they should go full on New 52 with this new Batman. And, have the stories of the New 52. I mean, how badass would it be for the new Batman franchise that we get stuff like the Court of Owls and the death of the family and shit like that. That would be so fucking badass if we got that. I mean, I think that would be the most badass Batman movies that we have gotten since, the Dark Knight trilogy. I mean, in my personal opinion. But nevertheless, I think that's going to be it. Also, Cyborg, I mean, I know a lot of people haven't been giving credit to Cyborg, but you know what? I actually can't wait to see that. I can't wait to see what happens with that kind of movie. I mean, I like Cyborg as much as the next guy, but it would be really interesting to see what they do with him. And plus, I mean, another weird thing is, what villain will they have for Cyborg? Because, obviously, for those of you who don't know, Cyborg doesn't have his own villains. All his villains are Teen Titans villains or Justice League villains. So, it's going to be really interesting how they approach Cyborg the movie. So, I guess only time will tell on that one especially. But moving off of that, let's get into my number one pick. My number one most anticipated DC Cinematic Universe movie. And it has to go to the man himself, the King of Atlantis, Arthur Curry. Aquaman. Yes, I cannot wait for Aquaman. Aquaman is finally going to get his justice once again, no pun intended. Does anybody like fish sticks? I'm sorry. I just had to say that. But nevertheless, I cannot wait for Aquaman the movie. It's going to be such a badass movie. I hope it's a badass movie. It comes out, I think, post-Justice League, if I'm not mistaken, so... Or maybe pre-Justice League, I can't remember. I think it most likely comes out after the first Justice League movie, so we're going to have some time on our hands to wait to see a badass Aquaman movie. But nevertheless, out of all the movies, that's the number one movie I cannot wait for. I mean, like, it's just going to be so badass to see, you know, Aquaman doing his thing, so fucking awesome. And plus, it's going to be such a great new pace for, you know, DC and Warner Brothers to put out something that's not straightforward, realistically, like, watered down, like, superhero movie, you know, like Batman or, you know, or Man of Steel or what have you. We're gonna have, like, a real, you know, hopefully colorful, like, real action, fantasy, adventure kind of, you know, picture with Aquaman, because obviously Aquaman is, you know, King of Atlantis. Mostly we're gonna see majority of the movie take place underwater and shit, so I can't wait to see the visuals on the movie. I mean, like, if the movie's not 100% visual, then it's gonna be a killer. But nevertheless, I can't wait to see that movie. It's gonna be so badass. Jason Momoa, my man, is going to be playing the badass himself, Arthur Curry. So I can't wait to see that. I'm pretty sure Jason Momoa is going to do a great job. Only time will tell once again. He will be possibly featured in Batman v Superman and in Justice League. So I guess we'll have to see how he is presented in those movies before we get into a solo movie. But I can't wait to see it. Also, we've been getting lots of rumors that the plot of the solo movie will be The Trench, which is the New 52 version of Aquaman, so I think that's pretty badass. I can't wait to see it. The only thing I cannot wait for is to see, like, what Jason Momoa looks as Aquaman, like, in a full-on, like, poster. I can't wait to see that. But in the end of the day, that has been my top 5 most anticipated DC Cinematic Universe movies. I hope you guys enjoyed my list. What's your list? In the comment section below, let me know what you're most looking forward to in the DC Cinematic Universe. All I hope for is that, A, all these movies come true and they're hopefully amazing out of fucking everything DC's ever done. I hope their most badass movies are these movies. And I actually hope they actually make these movies, because we all know DC and Warner Brothers, the second they fuck up, it's right back to the drawing board. They can't fucking light a fire faster than fucking when shit hits the fan. So hopefully all these movies go into play perfectly, and hopefully Batman v Superman lets all these movies flourish into the way they should be. So, but nevertheless, that has been my top 5. Next week I will be bringing you my top 5 most anticipated Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. Most of them are Phase 3, so there is that. But in the end of the day, in the comment section below, let me know what you personally thought about this top 5. What are your most anticipated DC Cinematic Universe movies? And you know what? Also, real quick, before I end this movie, for an honorable mention that I forgot to mention, I know it's not really a part of the DC Cinematic Universe movies, but it is DC related, and it's from Warner Brothers, so, you know what? The Lego Batman movie. I cannot wait to see that. I mean, like, I'm just saying, Lego Batman was a badass in the Lego movie, so to see him get his own movie in 2017, if I'm not mistaken, I can't wait to see it. It's going to be so fucking fun and funny. So, nevertheless, that's also another movie I can't wait to see. The Lego Batman movie, if I could include it. But anyways, in the comment section below, let me know what you personally think. Subscribe to my channel if you've not done so already. And this has been John Trigger 12, and I hope you guys enjoyed.